As I'm working for the Horse Council in Champagne-Ardenne, I will give you my more my regional and personal experience for this subject that I was asked to do for federation. So first of all, for the clubs in France, as you noticed yesterday, most of the clubs are affiliated to French Federation. You have association or private companies. Most of them are private companies, and some of the clubs are financed by the regions, meaning money from the state. The reason for affiliation for them is to be able to deliver license to the people riding at their place, insurance also reasons, also to be able to organize official competition in the club, also to get support and guidance, and also concerning all the certifications. Oh, sorry. No. Okay, sorry. On the top was supposed to be a French Federation, and after you've got in each region you have a regional federation. Okay, so it's called in Champagne-Ardenne. It's more or less like a committee for regional equitation, and after you've got the clubs. So regional federation gets money from the national federation to organize training for the judges, for the amateur riders and teachers, and also sometimes they are helping the regional clubs to organize competition. And also they get money to communicate the national ideas within the regions. So the main incomes of the clubs comes from the riding lessons and also the owners' horses' housing. So in France, most of the structures you can find, equestrian structures, are clubs, as I said, private stables, and also training centers that can be public or private facilities. That's more or less a resume of what each one is doing. So the clubs are more taking care about the training for teacher and amateur riders. Sometimes they ask coaches to come for the different disciplines, most of the time dressage, jumping and eventing. After you've got state institutions as ENE in Saumur, National Stud of Le Pin, for example. These institutions have incomes coming from the state. So in Saumur you will find, for example, the high-level instructors training. You have also the Pôle France, that is the training for all the French team for eventing, jumping and dressage. And in Le Pin, you've got, for example, a training for professional riders that want to specialize in the young horses. But you can also find that type of trainings in private now equestrian centers and structures. So for the young horses training, you have that privately. You've got also individual training, private coaching, and better quality of the horses and level of the coaches. Because now the problem, if you want to ride good horses and to have a good training, most of the time you cannot find it into the club. So you have to go to private facilities to be able to improve your level and to find the good horses. So yeah, the clubs now, most of the people are amateur riders and mainly jumping 1 meter, 1 meter 10. So if you want to jump more, then you have no choice to go to a private facility. And also the private facility, it's easier to get like a private lesson, and also they adapt to you more maybe than the clubs. The service is more personal, so really it's now getting easier to ride in the private equestrian structures if you want to get to better level. For the incomes, like The state institutions, as you know, have most of the money coming from the states, and sometimes they can get private funds through national studs activities and also the trainings they do there. For the private structures, they get money from the lessons. For the business of horses, they have to make their living about their activity. Relations between riders and clubs. So most of the riders that are in a club, they have to pay a license and a membership most of the time to the club. If you want to ride as a leisure, you are not obliged to take license to federation, but you need to get your own insurance. But like if you want to compete amateur or professional, then you are obliged to take a license to federation. So as in France, so most of the riders are obliged to take a license to ride. After, you're not obliged to ride in the club where you take your license. You can change the club without any problem, without paying any fee. And also, for example, myself, I'm paying my license in a club. I don't know the club. I'm riding into another facility. And why I'm doing that? Because I don't, the level in the clubs are not efficient. So I need to go to a private place to find good horses and good training and people that are adapted to my work, so I can go by night and everything. So I think it's a problem that we see in other countries. And even you can oblige everyone to take license to your place, but after you have to offer the good services, and I think it's a main issue we have in France now, to increase maybe the level of the people that are teaching in the clubs. And because, yes, we are obliged normally to take lessons with people that have a license to teach. But if those people are not efficient enough, then you have no choice to change. So you can oblige everything, but after, people do whatever they want and what they need also. So I think it's a thing we have in France to improve, really, about the level of the clubs, the level of the teachers, the level of the horses we can find there. So we can get maybe more people to stay in the club and not to have all these parallel activities that are not really legal. So if you have any questions to ask me, just feel free.
The questions are for free? Without paying any fee? No question.
Well, apparently, Delphine, you addressed all the most important problems.
Thank you very much, Delphine.
I'm sorry, I'm maybe too active, but it's an interesting thing. You mentioned that you are a member of a club and you don't know the club. Question is, does the club give you a permission to be a member? Because yeah, sometimes, you know, clubs would not like some persons to be their members. And that's my question. What is the system? If you want to be a club member, both parties must agree to that, yes?
Yes, membership is another thing. When after you enter the club, then yes, you have to take a membership. So it's more to an income for the club to be able after to benefit from special prices in the club. But for my case, I just wanted to get a license, and the private facility I'm riding in are not delivering license. So I just use a club to be able to take the license, that's all. And the club doesn't care, because the club, it makes more people in his club when he gets the number, and after he gets money from the National Federation. When I pay my license, part of my license is going to the club also, so they don't really
and care. Second thing is the insurance. When you pay the license to the federation, yes, it is already including, then you are getting automatically
Yes.
insurance from the federation.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
You speak now for the region Champagne. Is this for the whole France, or is it only for that region?
As I said, it's more my point of view, but I think the problem is general, like the problem I mentioned and how it goes. I think it's not only in I'm now working in that region, but I would be in another one. I think it would be the same. I think it's a national problem we are having now, and I'm now talking a lot with the professionals, and I can see also how it goes. Sometimes we try to do some partnership between the breeders and the equestrian center to put better horses, young horses, to try to change the things, and we always see it's difficult to find even a teacher that is able to ride a horse. Like, how can you teach someone if you're not able to, yourself to ride a 4-year-old, like, or a 5-year-old or something? How this guy is going to teach me if he's not, his level is worse than mine?
Yeah, just to complete what Delphine said, we try to find a solution for that with some different qualification. We've got a qualification for the teacher to teach young people, well, from grassroots to the first level of competition, and we've got now a national qualification for coaches for competition. And finally, it's really a different way to have the solution, but this qualification is quite new, and so we will see the quality in the clubs in few years. But there are qualification for disciplines, a new coach for eventing, for jumping, and is not the same that the teacher for the grassroots.
But after, you cannot fight against like the performance of a guy. The guy, if he's at international level doing dressage or everything, then you know he's a good rider and so on. So, I mean, you don't need this qualification to be able to find the good people to work with, I guess. It's just, I was more talking about the teaching people into the club that are teaching the kids now. That is, I think, the biggest problem. We have teaching, and I've said the kids or myself, like adults. And if you get to a certain level, then after you're blocked. Like, you cannot find to get evolution, so you have to quit. And that was more my point. To keep people into the club, that's, I think, not so easy.
Well, actually, by the way, we had also this discussion about the role of the clubs, what clubs give to riders. But there was one question. Give me any of the top level jumping riders who are in real club. Yeah, that was the kind of question. So I think that's the point you just mentioned. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Once more again, Delphine.